Switch Radio Sport. This is Switch.
Worcester City win that game and they will be in Division 1 Midlands next season.
Chance in ball to Job's got chance in penalty, gets shot in and goes to the back of the net, and Cheyenne Jarvis gets the second goal for Leafland Athletic this afternoon, found space in the 6-yard box.
Back to the edge of the penalty area with the pass, crossing towards the back post, headed goalwards and in!
That's a great shot from De Castro! Oh, what a save for Gray! And a red kick 2-0!
Stourbridge have won the Division 1 Midlands title.
The Women's Football Chat on Switch Radio.
Good evening, welcome along to this week's episode of the Women's Football Chat. This is your show dedicated to the third and fourth tiers of women's football here in England. That's the FA Women's National League. Here with you for the next hour on Switch Radio. Plenty to come as we have all of the final group games in the FAWNL Cup and Plate and what that means as to who progresses into the Cup, who goes into the Plate. We're going to look ahead to a busy week in Tier 3. Plus, we've got the third qualifying round of the Women's FA Cup with all of the Tier 4 teams entering the competition at this stage. That's all to come here on Switch Radio with this, the Women's Football Chat. Yes, welcome along then to the Women's Football Chat with you for the next hour as we go through everything that's happened in the third and fourth tiers of women's football here in England over the last 7 days and look ahead to what you can expect to come. We're going to start today with the news, and we're going to start in Wales actually, because Gwalior United have put out a club statement confirming that James Thomas has stepped down from his role as first team manager with immediate effect. They say they're grateful to James for his hard work and commitment during his time with the club, and we wish him every success in the next chapter of his career. Charlie Mitchell will take charge as interim head coach while we begin the process of appointing a new permanent manager. Our focus remains firmly on the season ahead and building on the foundations already in place for our players, supporters and community. Interesting one for Gwalior United, fifth currently in the Southern Premier Division, but didn't progress through to the FAWNL Cup. They are currently 4 points off the top of the table. Obviously, that statement doesn't suggest whether he has left his role or whether he has been removed from his role. But to make a change, if that's what Gwalior have chosen to do so early on in the season, is an interesting one. If it's something that James has decided to do, then fair play to him, and hopefully that means that he's got something in the pipeline for his career. But interesting to see how this is going to affect Gwalior moving forward with a busy schedule coming up. Are they going to perhaps struggle? Are they going to be okay? Only time will tell on that, but will be kind of an interesting one to look at moving forward, particularly, as I said, with the busy schedule coming. Other news from the FAWNL, we have had finally the Manager of the Month awards for August. Yes, we're in October now. We have just had the awards for August. In the Premier Divisions for Tier 3, it's gone to Helen Blizzard of AFC Bournemouth. Bournemouth, of course, having an absolutely super start to life in Tier 3. They are still, not to mention where they were at the end of August, they are still top of the Southern Premier Division table with 13 points from their 5 games. And in Tier 4, it's gone to Dylan Wimbury of Cheadle Town Stingers. Cheadle Town still with a 100% record, 5 wins out of 5. They're already 3 points clear, granted not at that stage of proceedings. They were only, well, actually they were 3 points clear at the start of September as well. But in August, great start for Cheadle, and they are still, as I said, top of Division 1 North, and they have a 100% record. In terms of September Manager of the Month, should be getting through the shortlist very soon from the FA to see who is on that shortlist and what the voting possibilities are. Hopefully we won't have to wait so long to see the results of that one this time around. So those are the bits of news from the past 7 days in the FAWNL. Let's, because we've got a lot to go through, have a look at the results, which were all from the FAWNL Cup and Plate groups. Yes, we'll start then with Group A, where Plymouth Argyle beat Bristol Rovers by 6-0. Catherine Dixon, Panagiotta Papanou, Tiana Tiesa, Katie Wilson and 2 for Olivia Francis. Convincing win for Plymouth Argyle by 6-0. Bridgewater United beating Marine Academy Plymouth by 3-1. Zoe Watkins, Amy Kingdon and Cameron Lines with the goals for Bridgewater United. Lucy Soloway, the goal for Marine Academy Plymouth. What it's meant in Group A, Bristol Rovers did not quite do enough to get themselves into the Cup. You had to have 6 points, but you also had to have a pretty decent goal difference as well to get through to the Cup as the second placed side. So Plymouth Argyle into the Cup as group winners, with Bristol Rovers and Bridgewater United both going into the Plate. In Group B, we had Exeter City beating Abingdon United by 5-0. Convincing win for Exeter. 2 for Sarah Stacey, 1 for Ellie Sarah, Madeline Durant and Sophie Gillies. So a big 5-0 victory for Exeter. And Southampton's Academy beating Portishead Town by 3-0. Sophia Trujillo, Anya Lucas and Natalie Matthews with the goals for Southampton Academy. In Group B then, Exeter City through as group winners. Southampton's Academy through as one of the 10 best second place sides. But Portishead Town, with only 1 point and a -6 goal difference, miss out. They are one of the 2 lowest ranked third placed sides. So from Group B, there is nobody going into the Plate. Group C, Swindon Town beat Gwalior United by 6-2. Swindon, of course, flying high in the Division 1 Southwest, rather. Gwalior United in the Southern Premier Division also doing well, losing 6-2 at home to a team in the tier below. Maybe has that had a bit of an influence in the move that Gwalior United have made that we've just spoken about on the show? Maybe, maybe not. Goals in this one for Swindon: 2 for Annabelle Colston, 2 for Gypsy Vivesh, 1 for Libby Davis. So presumably there was an own goal in there as well. There was in the 19th minute. Eliza Colley and Casey Gregson with the goals for Gwalior United, who are in the Plate, just missing out on the Cup as well. Your Cup, from memory, you needed 6 points and a goal difference of, maybe it was 4, if memory, no, only a goal difference of 2, to get through into the Cup. Gwalior United then 6 points and a goal difference of 1. So if they just had not lost to Swindon by quite as much, they'd have got themselves into the Cup. A 3-0 win for Bristol City's PGA side over Keynsham Town, all coming late on, very late on, these goals. Chloe Giddings in the 89th minute and the 95th minute, Indy Power in the 93rd minute. So it was 0-0 2 minutes from time, at which point both sides would have been heading out, and then Bristol City Academy scored 3 late on to get themselves into the Plate. Group D, in Group D, now Worthing were unable to field a side in Group D, their final game. Now, it was extremely unlikely that they would qualify for the plate because of the massive goal difference that they would have to have overturned. It was a goal difference at the time of about 14. So they would not have qualified anyway, but they've been unable to fulfill a team. So Lewis go top of the group, getting the 3 points from that game. Fulham then beating Brighton Hove Albion Academy by 4-1. Sasha Adamson in the 14th minute and a hat-trick for Ellie Olds, giving Fulham their 4 goals. Brighton's Academy, Alinia Martin in the 70th minute, the only goal for them. But Fulham then, as one of the 10 best second place sides, also through to the Cup. Brighton Academy go into the plate courtesy of that big 7-0 win they had over Worthing in the first round of group matches. Into Group E, where AFC Bournemouth, they beat Ascot United by 6-0. A hat-trick for Jenna Markham, 2 for Sophie Quirk, 1 for Jessica Hennessy, giving Bournemouth 3 wins out of 3 and a perfect clean sheet record as well in the group, as they top that group. You would have sort of expected it. They are the Southern Premier Division side with 3 Southwest sides in there, but Moneyfields did give them a good game. Bournemouth Sports as well, to be fair, gave them a good game. Moneyfields beating Bournemouth Sports by 3-0. Tierney Scott with 2, Daisy Beard with 1, meaning that Moneyfields do go second in that group but don't have enough points with just 4 for the Cup, so they go into the plate, as do Ascot United. Into Group F, Cheltenham Town, they beat Kidderminster Harriers by 5-1 to top the group with a goal difference of 10 and winning 3 out of 3 games. 2 for Libby Bell, 1 for Emily Curtis, Guimara Apusi Tasham and Megan Arnott, all with 1 as well. Eloise Harris had, in the 3rd minute, put Kidderminster in front, but they finish at the bottom of the group. Cheltenham Town into the Cup. Birmingham City's Academy, after beating Worcester City by 2-1. 2 for Lucy Powis, Jessica Fasnage with the goal for Worcester City, means Birmingham are second, Worcester are third, and both of those sides qualify for the plate. Into Group G, where London City Lionesses beat Billericay Town by 1-0 through Romilly Evans, and Chatham Town beat AFC Sudbury by 2-0. Lottie Sharp in the 55th minute, Carisha Itten in the 57th. So both goals 3 minutes apart. Chatham Town winning all 3 of their group games. AFC Sudbury, though, with that 6 points and 2 goals, means that they get through into the Cup as well. Just about, and it really is just about for AFC Sudbury. They were one of the several teams who just made it with a goal, 6 points and a goal difference of 2. 5 teams got through with that, but AFC Sudbury, having scored 5 goals, just made it through into the Cup. Into Group H, where Actonians draw with AFC Wimbledon with 1 goal each. Those goals coming, Adriana Dunbar Bonney in the 46th minute, Rosie Russell a late equaliser for AFC Wimbledon in the 92nd minute, and Chelsea beating Maidenhead United by 7-1, 4 for Lois Shooter and 3 for Eva Hendel in that. But the interesting thing from Group H comes because AFC Wimbledon fielded an ineligible player against Maidenhead United, and it took a long time to sort this out, but eventually it came through that the points and the goals were being taken away from Wimbledon. Initially, it was kind of reported that just the points were being taken, but it was the points and the goals which plummeted Wimbledon down to the bottom of Group H, and with Maidenhead given the 3 points as well, because initially on full time it was said that Maidenhead hadn't been given the points, so Wimbledon remained in third, and it looked for a while like there wasn't going to be a punishment essentially against Wimbledon because they were going to have these points taken off, but they'd still have qualified for the plate and they wouldn't have made the cup anyway. So they'd have ended up where they where they would have been anyway. But eventually it all got sorted out. Maidenhead United got given the points. It means that Wimbledon go down as bottom of the group and are out of the competition. Maidenhead, with those 3 points, have qualified for the plate. An interesting kind of way that it's worked out here. You'll remember that AFC Wimbledon won that game by 6-1. So Maidenhead didn't actually win any of their games. They lost all of them, but because they have been awarded a game, they have got through. So that's an interesting one, and one that is the correct way that it's been done, but it's a really awkward way of progressing through into the next round. Out of Group H, it's Maidenhead into the plate, and Actonians and Chelsea both go through into the cup. Into Group I, where #United had a narrow victory against Dulwich Hamlet. Honor Norton in the 32nd minute, the only goal in that one. London Bees and Crystal Palace Academy. Millie Isherwood with 2 and Aria Hell with 1 for London Bees. A 92nd minute there, winner against Crystal Palace Academy, who scored through Katie DeGrorio and Rosie Rowe. So #United, it was a big battle between them and Dulwich Hamlet. #United win it and they top the group to go through into the cup. Dulwich Hamlet were one of 3 teams alongside Sporting Cowser and Leafield Athletic who finished with exactly the same record, and it looked for a while like we might have to go down to the 5th tiebreaker of disciplinary, but we managed to avoid that and all of those teams are through into the cup. London Bees are in the plate. Group J, interesting again here. Charlton Athletic women unable to field a side, so Chesham United awarded that game. Watford beating Queen's Park Rangers by 6-0. Isabel Fisher with a brace, 1 each for Ava Kuchen, Lashanti Paul, Madison Perry and Andrea Gorgiou. So a big win for Watford, who finished with a 22 goal difference, that after scoring 9 against Chesham as well. So they go into the cup. Queen's Park Rangers also into the cup thanks to their goal difference, and Chesham United into the plate, a -15 goal difference from the 2 games that they played, but because they were awarded that game against Charlton Athletic, who had their kind of women's academy suspended for 7 days following an audit, which meant they were unable to play this game and field a side, which meant that Chesham were awarded the 3 points and got through. So again, Chesham, another side who have got through thanks to something out of their control. It would have been interesting to see, having had Watford beating Charlton 7-0 and then Chesham 9-0, and Queen's Park Rangers beating Chesham 7-1 and Charlton 6-1, what a Chesham-Charlton game would have looked like. But no, we'll never know. Group K then, Northampton Town 0, Loughborough Lightning 2. Olivia Mitchell-Rahman and Lucy Cooper with the goals for Loughborough Lightning, and Rugby Borough beating Arsenal Academy by 5-0. 2 for Nikki Potts, 1 for Eve Clarkson, Bethan Roberts and Yasmin Mosby, giving Rugby a very convincing win in the end. They go through into the cup, and it was tight. It was down to goal difference with the other sides in that group, but Loughborough Lightning and Northampton Town go through into the plate competition. Group L, Norwich City beating Cambridge United by 1-0. Kerry Fly with the only goal of the game in this one. And Real Bedford beating Peterborough United by 3-1. Breon Grant with a brace and Chloe Logie with 1 as well, giving Real Bedford a 3-1 win. Poppy Brown the only goal for Peterborough United, which means that Real Bedford go through as group winners. Norwich City just missed out. We're talking a goal. That's what we're talking. We are talking a goal is the difference between Norwich City getting into the cup. Potentially they would end up in a 4-way tiebreaker, which would then go down to discipline. So 1 goal has essentially meant that Norwich City don't make it. through. It's the same situation with Gwalior United. If they'd have got one more goal, they'd have been through. Notts County, we haven't quite got to them yet, but one more goal, they'd have got through as well. So it shows how close it has been to qualify for the Cup. There is a complete contrast for particularly Peterborough United there, losing all 3 games in Group L against two sides who are in Tier 4. And so are they, I suppose, actually thinking about it. But Peterborough United, top of Division 1 Midlands, having played 5, won 5, then losing to Cambridge United, losing to Norwich City, and then losing to Tier 3 side Real Bedford. But it's such a contrast between the league form and the cup form for Peterborough United. Group M then, Oxford United beating Luton Town by 4-0. Grace Palmer, Emma Thompson, Adele Lindbeck and Maisie Barker with the goals for Oxford. For Spurs, they beat MK Dons by 3-1. Mia Endicott, Cruz Fuller-Fagan and an own goal in that as well. MK Dons' only goal of that game coming to Molly Knox. So Oxford United go through as group winners. Luton Town and Tottenham Hotspur's Academy go into the plate. Group N is West Bromwich Albion against Leafield Athletic, a 2-0 win for West Brom. Simran Jamat and Phoebe Warner with the goals for West Bromwich Albion, and Stourbridge losing to Leicester City's Academy by 5-2 in this one. 2 for Muna Eze, 1 for Poppy Groves, Sammy Kazmar and Eve Lovelock. Darcy Cartwright and Olivia Owen with the only goals for Stourbridge. What it means in Group N, West Bromwich Albion through with all 3 wins and a goal difference of 8. Leafield Athletic 6 points, a goal difference of 2 again. They were one of these teams that just made it. Had they scored 1 goal less or conceded 1 goal more, they'd have ended up in the plate, not the cup, across 3 games. Again, just shows how close it is between all of those sides. And Leicester City's Academy goes into the plate. So time now for our interview from this week. After that West Bromwich Albion against Leafield Athletic game, Kevin Moore spoke to Siobhan Hodgetts after their Group Cup win.
Okay, joining us, Siobhan Hodgetts from West Bromwich Albion. Siobhan, congratulations.
Thank you.
Clean sweep of victory today in the group stage of the National Cup competition. Would have been a target you definitely would have aspired to anyway. Yeah. But you're playing a Tier 4 team. You know they're improving. They're making a lot of improvements on and off the pitch as well. Was today all about controlled, measured performance by your team, contain them and just pick up your chances when you had the opportunity to do so, Siobhan?
Yeah, I think today was obviously, we wanted a performance. Like you just said, it was important that we got the win today to top the group stage, which I'm happy that we have done. I think, Leafield, like you said, made it hard in the first half when they sat in the block, but I felt like we moved the ball well with good pace and ball speed to be able to create some really good moments. We did score two really good goals, so yeah.
Phoebe Warner got on the score sheet and Jamat as well. Both different individual goals, their own sort of right, but I think very much telling sort of the players you've got who can affect the play and make those changes anyway. You've got a squad who can, when the need calls for it, they'll interchange, play different roles on the pitch, Chef.
Yeah, look, we've got a really big squad, so we've got good squad depth throughout the team in terms of positions. I felt today, like you just said, there was 2 different goals. I think obviously the cross was great from Ella. Phoebe's goal in and around the back stick, and I thought the second goal that Sim scored, I think was a good transition moment where we picked up the ball and played off 1 and 2 touch, which we're capable of. So really happy with both goals.
And half-time team talk, was a case of like just see how they would change for the first 10-15 minutes of the second half and make the changes after the hour mark?
Yeah, I think obviously it was important that with the 2-0, obviously going 2-0 up, we did give the opportunities to other players in the squad to get some minutes. The team talk at half-time was, we've got to continue doing what we're doing, ball speed. It was important that we moved the ball quickly and look to try and move them out, try and entice them to, to come out of those positions to be able to then, get in behind. If they did change shape, which they did.
Yes, they did, yeah.
And they changed their approach where they did come at us more second half. We have to adapt to those situations and play the situation.
And do you make change on the bench? Obviously, bring on Ellie May and also Hammond McLean and Kate Evans as well. To be understanded, this sort of game, this sort of nature, you want to utilise your bench, don't you? Because what's your thoughts on this competition? The debut time of the FA Women's National League have implemented it in for this season. Can you see the benefits of how it's going to be for squad rotation, for developing your squad long term if this competition stays in place next season, Chef?
Yeah, I think it's important that in these cup games that we do give players the opportunity. Like I said, we have got a big squad, and it's important that we rotate players and give players opportunities. So that's why it's important that we did that today. In terms of the Women's National League and the Cup, I think it was it's an extra 2 games. So yeah, I think for us we like that because it does give the chance for more games and more playing minutes for players, and which helps squad rotation. And
helps squeeze in 1 or 2 extra midweek games as well, doesn't it, really? Because a lot of players I know we're not on the floodlights here, Alexander, someone talk to you now, but players who like playing the midweek games as well, don't they? It adds towards the sense of the momentum going, the cut and thrust of lots of matches on the bounce, really, doesn't it, Chef?
Yeah, I think we love a night game. Obviously, we haven't played here yet, Alexander Stadium yet, but we've got a few coming up that we're excited to play here. So yeah.
On the horizon, Derby County back to league duties, and after that, an interesting run of games with Wolves on the horizon. Bournemouth St Mark's and the County Cup to be decided what's going to happen with that fixture. About your schedule for October, yeah. Rugby Borough away, and Middlesbrough start in November. So the games come thick and fast, don't they? Really? How's the squad looking in terms of fitness levels in general? And you've got the numbers. You're happy with this stage of the season, Chef?
Yeah, look, games come thick and fast, like you just said. I think we've got obviously league games coming up. We want to continue the good form that we have got, both for the league and the cup, really. But I think it's important that we go into every game with the same attitude to win every game and we want to finish obviously as high as we can, and we want to go and progress as far as we can in the cup.
And a lot of progress has been made in this club, both internally and externally as well. You've seen, you're in the vanguard of it, you've seen how things are working positive for your squad going forward as well. Making this place a fortress, is that going to be one of the key things you want to be with the squad this season? Make Alexander Stadium your home where you can make it difficult for teams to play against you here this season?
Yeah, definitely. As you can see, it's an amazing venue.
Yeah.
We wanted to bring the team closer to the Hawthorns, which we have done. Redditch was a great venue, but it was also 30-40 minutes away from the Hawthorns.
Bit of a distance.
So we want to grow our fan base, and we feel like this is the venue to do that. And I think, as you can see, it's an amazing venue, lots of potential to grow and really make this our homegrown.
Yes, big thank you to Siobhan there for taking the time to speak to us after the game against Leafield Athletic. West Bromwich Albion going through as group winners. Group O then, slowly but surely getting through these cup groups. Sporting Council beating Aston Villa Academy by 1-0. Sky Owen in the 90th minute, seeing Sporting Council past Aston Villa. Boldmere St Michael's beating Sutton Coldfield Town by 3-1. Olivia Mitchum, Janelle Starker and Martha Quirk, the goals for Boldmere St Michael's. Rhea Henry, the only goal for Sutton Coldfield Town. What it means, Boldmere St Michael's group winners. Sporting Cowser also through into the cup. Just that 90th minute winner not only put Sporting Cowser second in the group, but also by a goal through into the knockout stages of the cup. And Aston Villa Academy with 4 points, one of the better third place sides, are into the plate. Group P, a good group for Derby County. They beat Sheffield by 2-0 to top the group. Mia Wheeler in the 19th minute, Minnie Wilson in the 89th. Notts County and Lincoln United. Notts County beating Lincoln United by 4-2. Takaya Burnett with a hat-trick. Chloe Greaves with one as well, cancelling out the 2 from Madison Green. Lincoln United then finished the group bottom. Notts County were 1 goal away from getting through into the cup, so they go into the plate alongside Sheffield. Group Q, Stoke City beating Manchester United's PGA side by 3-2. Delphi Cole and 2 for Layla Kennelly for Stoke City. Marad Griffiths and Tamira Livingston with the goals for Manchester United, but Stoke City take that win. And a big win for Wolverhampton Wanderers over Wythenshawe by 7-1. Charlotte Greengrass, Abby Lloyden, Rachel Quigley, 2 for her. Chloe Williams, Luann Worsley and Amber Hughes with the goals for Wolves. Alicia Johnson, the only goal for Wythenshawe. But Group Q, another group where Wolves, they top it, go through into the Cup, but Stoke City good enough to get through into the Cup as well as one of the best second place sides. Manchester United, the other third place side, alongside Portishead Town, who miss out on the plate as they were one of the kind of worst two third place sides in the group stages. So they miss out on the plate. Another PGA side has gone. Group R then, Liverpool Feds and Cheadle Stingers play out a 0-0 draw. Stockport County and Liverpool's Academy play out a 1-1 draw. Jess Battle, the goal for Stockport County. Maddie Duffy, the scorer for Liverpool. Liverpool Feds then through as group winners. Cheadle Stingers needed to win that game to get into the Cup. They failed to do so. They're in the plate alongside Stockport County. Another PGA side in Liverpool are out of the competition. Group S, a draw between Barnsley and Hull means that Hull don't finish the group with a 100% record, but they do still finish as group winners. Izzy Grigg and Maya Accra with the goals for Hull. Helen Linsky and Ocean Rowlandson with the goals for Barnsley Women's. Hull finish as group winners. Sheffield United and Doncaster, they played each other. Sheffield United's Academy winning by 2-0. Isla Phillips and Alexandra Rigg with the goals in that game. And they finish in second and third respectively. But because of the minus goal difference for Sheffield United, thanks in no small part to losing to Hull 6-1, they end up in the plate. Group T, a big win for Burnley against Blackburn Rovers. Burnley win by 13-0 with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different scorers. Brooke Cairns, a hat-trick for Charlie Chadwick. Millie Chandarana gets 1. Amy Kelly with 2. Louise McDaniel with 1. Leafa Paul with 1. Abilene Stringer with 1. Heidi Logan with 1. Danielle Maxwell with 2. Does that even equal 13? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13? Yes, it does. So not a good group stage for Blackburn Rovers. Huddersfield Town beating Chorley by 1-0. Kate Mallin with the goal in this game. But they, with their -4 goal difference, because they lost 6-0 to Burnley, means that they are in the plate as well. Burnley then a 21 goal difference and 9 points. Chorley also in the plate. They did get that win over Blackburn Rovers, but Blackburn Rovers bottom of the table, a -24 goal difference from their 3 games. Penultimately then in Group U, York City 2, Leeds United 5. Goals in this one, Katie Astle and Alicia Hardcastle for York City. A hat-trick for Ellie White, Monique Watson and Catherine Smith also getting 1 for Leeds United. And it's Leeds that topped the group by a goal. It was neck and neck with Norton Stockton Ancients coming into this final round of fixtures. Norton beating Tier 3 Halifax by 2-0. Goals in this one, Bianca Owens and Chloe West for Norton and Stockton Ancients, but they just finished just shy of topping the group. Not that it really matters. Their 7 points has put them through into the Cup as actually the best second place side, the only second place side to get 7 points. And yeah, that's put them into the Cup. And of course, with no seeding in the Cup knockout draws as well, there was no advantage actually to finishing top over finishing second. Finally then into Group V, Middlesbrough beating Chester Street Town by 3-0. Goals in this one, Rebecca Ferguson, Erin Nelson and Ellen Packham. And then goals for and then in the other game, Durham Sestra against Sunderland's Academy 2-2. Both these sides qualifying for the plate. Eva Bewick and Neve Sewell for Sunderland, with 2 for Grace Collinson for Durham Sestra. The point means that both of them comfortably make the FAWNL plate. Which we had the draw for on Monday, as well as the Cup. But we'll run through the plate first. So these draws are supposed to take place on the 19th of October. However, some games have already moved. The eagle-eyed amongst you will know that the County Cup is the third weekend in the month, which is the 19th. Now, not many FAWNL sides are involved in County Cups at this stage. The most common one is Birmingham, but because County Cup takes preference over everything, some of these cup and plate fixtures are having to move. That means it gets a little bit messy because so far these games have been moved earlier. I'm assuming that's down to the league that want them done not the week before the next round, because they don't, I understand, and I get it, they don't want to do the draw on the 20th and go this team or that team against this team or that team and have loads of and/ors in there. They'd rather get the games done and out the way. So some games it will move to the 12th, I would think. Some already have, particularly those involving Birmingham-based sides. So Leafield Athletics game has moved, Wolves' game has moved, and of course that has a knock-on effect because Wolves were meant to be playing, well, Wolves are playing Sporting Cowser. They're both in Tier 3. It's moved a game earlier. So Wolves against West Brom has moved. Sporting Cowser's game has moved against, I want to say Middlesbrough from memory, or maybe Rugby Borough. Can't remember off the top of my head. Yeah, Rugby Borough have moved to the week before. It means that already we're down to just 3 Northern Premier League games in that weekend. So it's going to get very messy over the next few weeks. But FAWNL Plate first round draw: Cambridge United against London Bees, Bristol Rovers take on Brighton Hove Albion Academy, Cheshire United against Ascot United, Northampton Town against Norwich City, Gwali United against Tottenham Hotspur Academy, Maidenhead United against Bridgewater United, Luton Town against London City Lionesses, Moneyfields against Bristol City, Notts County against Leicester City Academy, Durham Cester against Sheffield United Academy, Doncaster Rovers Bells against Birmingham City Academy, Chorley against Aston Villa Academy, Cheadle Town Stingers against Sheffield, Worcester City against Halifax, Stockport County against Sunderland's Academy, and Huddersfield Town against Loughborough Lightning. Now, I was unable to watch the draw. I mean, this was the plate, so that plate wasn't done live. But there was a rule in there that you couldn't face a side in the same group as you. So, for example, Wolves couldn't have played Stoke. Not sure if there were any of those clashes that had to get sorted out, as I was driving at the time of the draw. But from what I understand, the draw went okay. Still don't think Instagram is the place to do it. YouTube, if you're going to do live draws on the internet, YouTube is the place to do it. That's for sure. But from what I understand, that the draw went okay. Again, not sure on the numbers, and being on Instagram live, as soon as it stops, you can't go back and watch it again and see what the numbers were or anything like that. So yeah, I still think YouTube is the way to go forward. In terms of the cup draw, then AFC Sudbury against Boldmere St Michael's. That's an interesting draw given the regionalisation, but of course you don't know exactly how the groups are going to go and how this was always going to be the way with this, is that you've got somewhat control over most of the teams, because if you've got regional splits, you know that a regional side is going to win each group. But of course, you could end up with all 10 of the sides in the second place sections coming from the south or from one particular area, which then has to really skew the graphics the other way. As it turns out, we've got Norton in the north, Chelsea in the south, Stoke in the north, Queen's Park Rangers south, Fulham south, Southampton south, Sudbury south, Dulwich south. So it's 6-4, so it's relatively close. So it's worked out pretty well for the league. So AFC Sudbury against Boldmere St Michael's, Middlesbrough against Rugby Borough, Hull City take on Leeds, Sporting Cowser against Wolverhampton Wanderers, Real Bedford take on Derby County, Burnley against Norton Stockton Ancients, West Bromwich Albion against Stoke City, Leafield Athletic against Liverpool Feds. Hashtag United against Lewis, Cheltenham Town against Southampton's Academy, Swindon Town against Actonians, Oxford United against Chelsea's Academy, Watford against Plymouth Argyle, Dulwich Hamlet against Chatham Town, Queen's Park Rangers against AFC Bournemouth, and Exeter City against Fulham. And finally, we've gone through all of the results and what they mean from the past 7 days. Plenty to look forward to over the next 7 days because the FA Cup is back. That's still all to come on the Women's Football Chat on Switch Radio between now and 6 o'clock. This is the Women's Football Chat on Switch Radio. Still plenty to come then between now and 6 o'clock when Andrew Richards has his Alternative 80s show for you. Let's go and have a look at what you can look forward to in the next 7 days. As I said, the FA Cup is back, so we've only got Tier 3 in terms of league fixtures to look at. Burnley against Hull City in the Northern Premier Division, 3rd against 7th. Derby County versus West Bromwich Albion is our coverage on Switch Radio on Sunday afternoon. Kevin Moore will be there for you with Derby County in 8th, West Bromwich Albion in 6th, but of course West Brom with a game in hand. Loughborough Lightning against Halifax is 10th against 12th, a really important game you feel already at this stage for both of those sides for their survival in the Northern Premier Division. Middlesbrough against Sporting Cowser, 9th against 11th, so the bottom 4 all coming against each other this weekend. Wolverhampton Wanderers against Stoke City, those two sides familiar with themselves already this season, having faced off against one another in the Cup. Wolves currently top of the table by 3 points, but bear in mind that Burnley do have that game in hand over West Brom. Game in hand, which is against West Brom. So Wolves against Stoke, 1st against 5th, and Rugby Borough in 2nd against Liverpool Feds in 4th. So some really tasty looking ties in the Northern Premier Division this weekend. In the Southern Premier Division, AFC Bournemouth against Lewis is top of the table against 7th. Billericay Town against AFC Wimbledon, the bottom 2, neither of which have a win this season. Will that change this weekend? Either one of them will get their first win of the campaign, or Billericay Town will get their first point of the campaign if they draw. Gwala United against Rail Bedford. Those two sides really are next to each other, 4th and 5th in the Southern Premier Division. Cheltenham Town against Plymouth Argyle, that is 9th against 3rd. Exeter City against Watford is 6th against 2nd. And Hashtag United against Oxford United, 10th against 8th. So again, some big clashes towards the top and bottom of the Southern Premier Division table. But that's all the league action because it is FA Cup day for the 3rd qualifying round. So here are your ties involving FAWNL Division 1 North sides. Norton Stockton Ancients against Leeds United is an all Tier 4 tie. Lower Hopton AFC are hosting Chester Street Town. Chorley against Cheadle Town Stingers. What a tie that is in the FA Cup. Huddersfield Town against Spennymoor Town. Blackburn Rovers are hosting Stockbridge Park Steels. Accrington Stanley against Durham Sestra. Stockport County are hosting Gateshead Leam Rangers. Wythenshawe against Poulton Victoria. York City against West Didsbury and Chorlton. And Sutton Coldfield Town against Doncaster Rovers Bells. Sutton Coldfield Town, of course, of the Midlands against Doncaster Rovers Bells of Division 1 North. And the thing I love about the FA Cup at this early stage as well is that you do get some fantastic team names popping up, such as Stockbridge Park Steels and Gateshead Leam Rangers. Some great team names you get at this stage of the competition. 3rd qualifying round involving Division 1 Midlands sides then. Barnsley Women's against Mancunian Unity. Kidderminster Harriers take on Shrewsbury Town. Stanground Cardia Sports against Worcester City. Handsworth against Northampton Town. Spalding United against Leafield Athletic. Sutton Coldfield Town against Doncaster Rovers Bells we've already spoken about. Lincoln United face Alvechurch. Sheffield against Boldmere St Michael's, again an all Tier 4 tie. Melbourne Dynamos, no not the Melbourne in Australia, against Stourbridge. And Peterborough United take on Notts County. Involving Division 1 South West sides, AFC Sudbury against Clapton Community, Milton Keynes Dons against Luton Town. Again, two sides, they were in the same FAWNL Cup group, so they're very familiar with each other already. Norwich City against Hutton, Atletico London against Cambridge United. London Bees take on Colchester United. Leatherhead versus Dulwich Hamlet. Wycombe Wanderers against Chesham United. Actonians versus Ascot United. That's a South East against South West tie. Dartford against Queen's Park Rangers. Fulham take on Moneyfields, again East versus West. And Beaconsfield Town against Chatham Town. Finally, Division 1 South West sides. Camden Town against Abingdon United. Actonians against Ascot United, we've already discussed. Maidenhead United against Worthing, all Tier 4 tie there. Fulham against Moneyfield. South East versus South West. Bridgewater United against Burlesdon. Bournemouth Sports take on AEK Bocco. Bristol Rovers against Marine Academy Plymouth, another all Tier 4 side tie. Plimpton versus Swindon Town. Portishead Town versus Sticker. And Keynsham Town versus Mangotsfield United. And it is always great when the FA Cup rolls around, when any of those ties bring in a shock of a lower tier team getting through into the first round proper, where Tier 3 comes into the equation. That is in a few weeks' time. But that's everything we can look forward to over the next 7 days in the FAWNL. That FA Cup weekend is always a very special one. That, though, will about do it for this week's episode of the Women's Football Chat, episode number 201. Andrew Richards with his Alternative 80 show is with you after the news at 6. If you are going to an FA Cup game this weekend, then do enjoy it. If you're not, don't forget that from 1:55 it's Derby County against West Bromwich Albion in the Northern Premier Division on Switch Radio. You'll be able to hear that across all of our frequencies and online at www.switchradio.co.uk. Thank you very much for being with me this evening, and Andrew Richards has your Alternative 80 show after the news at 6.